Melancholy is a very dangerous state. It can lead to dire consequences. A person loses the joy of life. Things that used to bring pleasure become indifferent to them. Neither food nor movies bring joy. The causes of melancholy can be various. Some experience sorrow due to unrequited love, while others find themselves in difficult life circumstances. There is nothing more terrible than losing a child. But life throws all sorts of things at us. Many mothers buried their sons during the years of the Great Patriotic War. In some families, practically all the soldiers who went to the front perished. Women's hearts were torn apart by pain, but they couldn't allow themselves to fall into melancholy. In V.A. Zakrutkin's story, Human Mother, the main character endured many blows. She watched as her husband and son were executed. She was left alone. All the neighbors fled or were taken prisoner. The Germans burned the village to the ground. Maria was ready to die. Despair filled her soul, and only for the sake of the little heart already beating in her womb she couldn't give up. A dog and a cow accompanied the unfortunate woman, and even though she had nothing to eat herself, she didn't abandon the animals. Maria didn't know how to go on living, but she fought with all her might. The woman not only built herself a shelter, but also harvested the collective farm's crops from the fields. There were hours of despair, anger, and pain, but she didn't lose heart. And when Maria found children in the haystack, she realized that besides her, no one would help them. So the heroine had to drive melancholy away from herself to save other people's children and her own unborn baby. In Mikhail Sholokov's novel Quiet Flows the Don, Grigory Melikov is left alone. Everyone he loved died. He lost his father, mother, brother, Aksinya, Natalia, Daria, his little daughter. The hero returned to his homeland devastated and crushed. He didn't care what would happen to him. He was prepared to be shot. His beloved sister married the enemy, and he moved into their house. Grigory had to accept it. Melancholy pursued him, and only one person helped him not to despair. His son needed a father. The hero saw hope for a better future in the little boy. There is no worse sin, and nothing is more terrible and destructive than the spirit of melancholy. For people without support, life is very difficult. Melancholy can strike them at any moment. Sometimes it arises without any obvious reasons. A person just decides that their life didn't turn out the way they wanted. But it all depends on them. You can give in to sorrow and despair, or you can fight for your happiness. Mary of Egypt was also struck by the fact that she couldn't enter the church. She realized the weight of her sins in an instant, and no matter how difficult it was for her, she continued to fight. During her time in the desert, the woman could have fallen into melancholy many times. No one helped her fight against passions and sinful images. She herself chose her path and followed it unwaveringly. How to avoid melancholy? One wise man gave 3 pieces of advice in response to this question. Never return to the places where you felt bad. Never ask from those who once refused. And don't let those who hurt you once come close again. These words can help anyone not only avoid melancholy but also not make the same mistake again. After all, someone who betrayed once will do it again, so why experience the same pain many times?